Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So as we discussed in the previous session, today's session is all about installation of Java and installation of IntelliJ IDE, and also we'll be going to the architecture in a very high level way such that you should be able to know what happens behind the scenes of you creating and executing a Java program. So it's going to be a very basic session. I'll try to dissect it as easy as possible. Okay, so let's get started without any further ado. Let's start off with you writing a Java code. Normally, you write a Java code and you save it as a Java extension. So consider you wrote a program and you saved it as hello.java. That is a human readable language what you have written as of now. But the system should be able to understand that, right? It should be able to process what you have written. So for that, you move on to the next step in the JDK, wherein there is a compiler, Java C, that actually compiles your human readable language, whatever code you have written, into a mission understandable one. It's called a bytecode. So this kind of a transition from hello.java to hello.class takes place in a compiler within a JDK. Now in the JDK, you compile it using Java C. The class file, it contains platform independent bytecode, but it's still not a mission code. Now the next phase is JVM. JVM loads your bytecode. What do you call JVM as? Java Virtual Machine. It loads your bytecode and reads your class file. You can think of JVM as a translator that converts the bytecode into mission specific to your OS. If you're using Windows, Mac or Linux, so basically it converts a bytecode into mission code specific to your OS. And now what does the JVM does? Now the JVM executes the code. JVM, it interprets a bytecode line by line. So now this is the background scene of how it works. So basically there are, like, in the JDK you have other tools like debugger. Debugger is basically, it helps you find and fix errors in your code. There is Java doc, it generates documentation from your code comments, and you also have a key tool within the JDK. It is used to secure the app with encryption certificates. Normally you will need to add your certifications if you're working for an organization. Normally you would need to import all your certifications into Java, so you use this command line command for the key tool normally. Yeah, this is all about the architecture for it. If ever you are looking for analogy to get it more clear, consider, let's take an example of a movie. Consider JVM is actually like a movie player, like a VLC player, wherein it helps you to play your movie. It doesn't help you to create or edit your movie. It's the same way with JVM. JVM, it only helps you in executing your code, same as a VLC media player. And now coming into JRE. JRE, it's coming a little bit more extended work it has. It has the player like a VLC media player, same thing we talked about in JVM. It has the player, also it has the codecs and the subtitles to it. So these things are the integrated ones to run that particular movie, right? To make it more better, we would need some additional information during the execution itself. So that's the same thing with JRE. So basically JRE, it consolidates the JVM, the libraries and the runtime tools to run the Java program. It's an integration of all those things. Now coming to the JDK. JDK is like a full-end film studio, wherein it helps in editing, making your movie better, creation of it, compiling and all those things. So when coming to the Java terms, it is JRE plus the compiler plus the dev tools. So it helps in building and run the Java program. Basically, if you install the JRE, you should be able to run the class files someone else has made for you, but you will not be able to compile the Java files. However, if you install JDK, you can write, compile, run and debug your own Java programs end to end. So for today's session, let's go and install the JDK latest version. So let's install the Java from Adoptium. This is the terminal. I am going to download the Timurin for the Windows since I'm using Windows OS. If ever you're using Mac, go for Mac. Let's download it. So my package is now downloaded. Let's open the installer. Click on next and yeah, select it. Next, next, and yeah, we have the path variables set. So next again, and then click on install. And now the installation is completed. Always to check if your Java has successfully been installed, just enter Java version. Since we see the details, the installation is successful. Now let's search for IntelliJ IDEA, and I am going to here download the community edition of it since it is free. If you're also looking for the community edition, I suggest to go down and paste upon your OS, just go for downloading it. So it's also successfully downloaded. Now I'm going to run the executable file. Let's complete its setup and installation. So you click on next, next, check if everything is correct or not. And then next again, next, yeah, that's it. And now the installation is completed for IntelliJ IDEA. So let's open it. So in IntelliJ IDEA, let's go and click on a new project. Enter the name of your Java class and check the rest of the other details too. Seems like my JDK is not pointing to the right location in which we downloaded. So I'm just going to point to the right location where we have downloaded the JDK. Now the project is opening. We are just going to the right folder. That's a default one. And there is already a default template of code available. However, you could see some errors. In order to rectify those errors, go to configure, select application, and then ensure that you point to the right JDK. So now there is one more error. We need to point the main method correctly. I'm just searching for it and yeah, saved it. Click on OK. So now we are done with configurations. Just to test it out, I'm gonna click on run. Yes, you have the results. So this is the entire setup to install IntelliJ IDEA. So the next most important thing if you're working in an organization is to set up the proxy in IntelliJ IDEA. Otherwise, a major problem is that the plugins will not be available in this section. You might not be able to see any kind of a default installed or available plugins in the marketplace. If that comes up, go to proxy, enter the username, password. Mostly it will be your organization ID and the password. Authenticate and click it on save. Go back to plugins and verify you're able to view all the plugins in that section. If that is correct, then we are good to go. That's all about today's session. I hope you have got an idea or an understanding of the backend scenes after you write a Java program. So let's go ahead to the next episode. Before that, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like my video. And if ever you have found this session useful, please don't forget to comment and like it. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video.